Hello, my name is Preston Walker, and today I'll be talking about how juvenile frogs predict the future using a process called plasticity, which I will get into on the next slide. Awesome. So, why does this matter? So, some animals can change based on their environment. This is called plasticity. It's easy to think of it. Plastic is very moldable, so some organisms are very moldable and are able to change based on how different their environment is. They may be genetically identical, so they have the same DNA. Um, However, they will look completely different. And this is called plasticity. And why does this matter? Well, our environment is rapidly changing, so the animals will likely rapidly change. As you can see, these two moths are brothers. They are identical brothers, but they look completely different because they are raised in different environments. Um, so, Meet the spadefoot toad. In the title, I said that frogs, juvenile frogs, so young frogs, are able to predict the future. And it is these young tadpoles of the spadefoot toad that predict the future. These frogs are from Arizona, and like the moss, they can go into two forms based on their food source. These frogs are seasonal, so they only come out during the summer, and for the rest of the summer, or for the rest of the year, sorry, they reside underground. A cool fun fact is their scientific name is Spia multiplicata. Cool. So as I said, there are two forms that these tadpoles can take on. The first is the carnivore form. You guys have heard of carnivores before. Carnivores generally only eat meat, right? So this carnivore morph or form happens when the tadpoles only consume or mostly consume shrimp. Um, as you can see, the carnivore is much bigger, it has very large jaw muscles, and is a lot longer. The omnivore form, again, omnivore means that you eat generally plants and very, very small animals. Forms when the tadpoles eat detritus. If you don't know what detritus is, it is a combination of algae and little plankton in the water and just very small organic material. And as you can see, these omnivore morphs or omnivore forms have a lot smaller jaw muscles and they're a lot smaller in general. So you might ask, kind of, how does this happen? And scientists kind of wanted to know. They wanted to know if the carnivore morph, so again, that morph that is a lot larger with the big jaws, could develop before the tadpoles even ate the shrimp. Would they be able to predict what future food awaited them? So basically, would they know it was for dinner before their mom cooked it? Because in the past, tadpoles have only been shown to change when exposed and when actually eating the food source. So the scientists wanted to know if the tadpoles could change before they knew what the food source was. So how'd they do this? They took eggs. They had a big group of eggs and they split them up randomly, one in a tank, and these eggs hatched in water where there's nothing in it. And then in the shrimp tank, aptly named, the eggs were hatched in an environment where shrimp just lived, right? And so before the tadpoles could eat, they were killed and then taken to be measured, right? And so the four things that were measured were body size, jaw muscle width, gut length, and the developmental stage. Um, so yeah, let's get into the results. So predicting the future, were these tadpoles able to predict the future? The answer is partially, right? So for body size, the group that had the shrimp did have a larger body size, which makes sense because the carnivore form, the one that eats shrimp, has a large body size. The jaw width in the shrimp group was also bigger, which again makes sense because as carnivore forms, they want the bigger jaw muscles to eat the shrimp. However, both the developmental stage and gut length stayed the same. And again, this makes sense. The developmental stage, all that tadpoles hatch at the same time. And then the gut length only changes when the tadpoles actually eat the food. And so, since they were killed before they could eat, it stayed the same. And so, what are the results of this study? It showed that juvenile tadpoles could tell the future. They looked in this crystal ball, and this is called anticipatory plasticity. So, I'll break that word down really quick for you. Anticipatory, you're anticipating something, and plasticity, you change in response. So, they anticipated that there would be shrimp in the environment, and they changed to have longer, bigger jaw muscles and a longer body length in anticipation of having these shrimp. And so you might be asking, kind of, why does this matter? With the climate getting warm globally, this allows animals to adapt and survive as it can help them kind of predict what they'll need to do and how they'll need to form in these new, warmer environments. And kind of a question I have for you guys, one last thought is what other animals do you think could do this? So predict what's going to happen to the environment, and how might it help them moving forward with these increasingly warm global conditions? Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.